Hey everybody, welcome back to Dreadfully Dainty Dips. I'm Lindsay, and if you're new here, hi, hello, and welcome to the Dreadful family. It's so great having each and every one of you. Okay, so today we're going to take a look at Dipomania Starter Kit. So yes, we have another Starter Kit Showdown. We haven't done one of these in a while. But okay, so if you're new here, what is a Starter Kit Showdown? Well, I'm doing a series where we take a dive into pretty much all of like the small business dip company starter kits to kind of see which one's going to give us more bang for our buck. So if you're curious, stay tuned.
If you like DIY nails, like, share, subscribe, click the bell. Then stick around, it's time for Traveling Dainty Dips.
All right, everybody, let's get into this thing. And first, I want to say I apologize if you can hear Shorty's in the house today. It's my little weenie dog for everybody that's new here. And she's over there cracking on a pig's ear bone thing. So sorry if y'all can hear her in the background. Anyway, okay, so let's get back to Starter Kit Showdown. Okay, so we're going to take a look at Dipomania's bag today. I do have a playlist started, so if you would like to go back, we have reviewed a few more starter kits. We're diving into gel liquid starter kits, dip liquid starter kits. You know, there's so many different starter kits out there. Some that only do dip powder, some that only do liquids, you know. And I want to, like, my goal is to find the perfect starter kit. Does it exist? I want a starter kit, like, say, if I was new, I wanted to order a starter kit, get it in, and be able to do a full mani with just what is ever in that starter kit. Okay, so that is my ultimate goal. And it's got to be budget friendly, you know. So let's see what Dipomania has to offer. Okay, so this is Dipomania's Dip Powder Starter Kit. You can find this at dipomania.com. It retails for $55, and you get all of this in this bag. So they have the options to get regular dip liquids, odorless dip liquids, and gel liquids as well. So, okay, let's get into this kit. I'm super excited to show y'all what's in here. All right, so first up, everything is stored nicely in this little clear zipper bag. I love this. The bag feels great. Zipper feels great like when you open it. So this is perfect for if you want to store your dip stuff in here, if you want to take it for traveling, or I don't know, you have a little nail night at the friend's house. Perfect. All right, so we get a buffing block so far, a Dipomania nail file that is in 100-180 grit. We have a nail dusting brush. So cute. If you don't know already, like, Dipomania's branded colors are teal and purple. Love that. Matches perfectly. And it's super soft. All right, next up we have a glass cuticle pusher. So one end you'll notice is flat. That's for pushing up your cuticles. The other end is kind of like a blunt, sharp end. This is for going around those cuticles. You got to get all that dead skin off so you don't have any lifting. But yes, I love these. I have these laying all around. They're great little nail files, and they're really good for your natural nails. They're not too harsh on them. All right, and next up we get a sample from the Witch's Cabinet. This is a cuticle oil in Deranged. This scent is only exclusively made for Dipomania. And here's her info if you'd like to go check her out. All right, y'all know we got to test and sniff all the things, all the smelly goods. This is really nice. It smelled really good. Felt really nice and luxurious. So that's great. I have not seen a bag yet that has cuticle oil in it. So that's really cool. All right, so next up it comes with a set of instructions if you're new, so you won't have to be confused. And you can also, if you happen to lose these, you can also find them at dipomania.com. All right, and you get 1.25 ounce of Zero, which is their clear dip powder. And then you get 2 colors of your choosing. So on Dipomania's website, you leave in the notes at checkout what colors you like, and the owner or the ambassador team will help you pick out some colors that are more like beginner friendly for you. But that's cool. So you get 0, 2 colors, and then here is their, they call it a not another nail tool. One end is when you dip, you can clear that cuticle area, it makes it easier for filing, and the other end is a rhinestone picker tool. So it's like a wax for you to help you grab those rhinestones and place them on your nail a lot easier. All right, and in my kit, I picked out the regular dip liquids. So you get the 3 set, the base, activator, and top coat. I love these bottles. They're nice, sturdy glass bottles. I'm so sorry if I hurt anybody's feelings. I cannot stand plastic bottles. They're just so easy to glue shut for some reason, in my opinion. But these are really nice, luxurious, make you feel like you're getting your money's worth, because these right here, I believe, are $30 on the website just alone. All right, and lastly, you get a nail mat. So that's great. Protect your surface, because if you spill that activator, get any of that, base or top coat, that's like resin, it's like glue. Oh, it's just going to be a disaster. So what better way to protect your nail surface while you're doing your nails? So this is really nice. It is a huge silicone mat. I love that they included that. All right, so everything we got, let's review. So we get your liquids, your nail mat, your cuticle tool, 3 dip powders, which is awesome, a set of instructions, cuticle oil, a cuticle pusher, your nail dusting brush, a nail file, and a buffing block, and if you want to count your bag. So that is awesome. I think this is a great deal for $55. Like I said, the liquids alone are $30. Your dips can range, depending on your company, from like $6 to $10. So y'all let me know what you think down in the comments below. Okay, so now another true test. Let's go ahead and see if we can do a full mani without needing anything else except for what's in this kit. All right, so we want to see if this is beginner friendly. So I'm going to pretend like I'm a noob at all this, and we're going to follow our instructions in our kit. Okay, so step 1 is our nail prep. Nail prep, nail prep, nail prep. If you are a noob, beginner, nail prep is key, okay? This is going to prevent as much lifting as possible. So we need to make sure we get all of the dead skin, even the dead skin that you cannot see to the naked eye. There is some dead skin on them nails, okay? So first, let's push back our cuticles gently. I kind of already did this right before this video, and I have an overlay of 0 there clear on the base of my nails. I feel like it helps strengthen my nails underneath my dip powders, and of course when I go to file off my powder, my colors, I am not going to reach my nail bed, okay? All right, so flat end, we've pushed back to our cuticles. This little sharp kind of blunt end is for just kind of rounding out those cuticles, going back and forth, gently, gently, getting all that dead skin off there. Get all those crusties off. I know, we all got it. You just might not be able to see it. Okay, make sure you're going all around there in the corners of those nail beds, around the cuticles. See all that? That could be dip powder, that could be dead skin, who knows? Get it all off if you can. All right, and of course we want to get any nail dust, any debris, anything off of our nails, because that is another form of lifting if you have lifting problems. Okay, so next up we're going to shape our nails before we get dipping. All right, so our Dipomania nail file, the side with the Dipomania name on it is your higher grit side, which is your finer side. The other side that has no name on it is your more coarse side. Okay, so let me explain that a little bit better. So the finer the grit is better for your natural nail. The tougher the grit, the more coarse the grit is for like nail enhancements, nail tips, things like that. So just remember, the higher the grit, so like a 180 to a 240 is better for your natural nails than a 100 or an 80 grit. That harsh grit, if you go in there on a natural nail, it is going to tear up your nails, and it could it could like make your nails tear. It's going to rough them up. It might hurt your nail beds, and we just don't want to hurt our nail beds, okay? So I hope that makes sense. So the higher the grit, the finer the grit, the more better for your nails. More better? I don't know the words. The lower the grit, the coarser the grit. No, do not use that on your natural nails, okay? All right, so let's take our 2 dip colors here. We have Ink Blot. This is a very gorgeous kind of like a bluey purple, really, really dark solid. And then we have Widowmaker. This is like a foily chameleon shifting goodness. Okay, we're going to use both of these. I'm going to use ink blot on the majority of my nails and then Widowmaker as an accent nail. Okay, so we have our regular dip liquids. Now these bottles are brand new. So another tip, I know I'm supposed to be looking at this whole thing like I'm a newbie, but if I can throw any tips and tricks out there, I'm going to. Okay, so brand new liquid jars. There's going to be a lot of liquid in there. I like to brush off my liquid around the inside of the rim of my jar. It just helps not flood your nail, which means if you went in there straight out of the bottle, you're going to get a lot of liquid on your nails, and it's going to it could create clumping of your dip powder, wrinkling of your dip powder, or it could just make your nails really bulky and just create more filing in the end for you. Okay, so just make sure you're kind of brushing off your dip liquids into the inside rim of your jar, not the outside, because then you could possibly glue your bottles shut. All right, and if I didn't mention before, you can take your buffing block and you want to rough up the top of your nail bed just very lightly. That way it kind of gives that dip powder something to adhere to on your nail. I've done that before, but I can do another video of just all nail prep if you would like. Let me know in the comments. All right, so see here, I'm just kind of like making sure I get a lot of that liquid off of that nail brush before I even let it touch my nail. And I'm going to go halfway up the nail. I like to start towards the free edge, which is the edge of my nail first, because the majority of your liquid is down there. Okay, if you started at your cuticle area and just dump that liquid on the cuticles, you could flood them, which again is going to make your powder go everywhere. You're not going to be able to clear your cuticle area with your cuticle tool, and you're going to get bulky nails if you keep starting at that cuticle. Okay, so you just want to make sure we're going thin on the liquids. Okay, and we're going to dip at an angle straight into that jar, like so. Okay, and then we're just going to tap it off. I like to just kind of hit the top of my knuckle. And then we're going to leave it just like that and let all that dip powder soak into that liquid. Don't brush it off. Okay, grab your cuticle tool and just go right around gently. Just kind of follow the line of your skin, the line of that cuticle area, and just clear it just like that. Okay, that's just making sure we don't have anything on our skin. And especially when we go to file, you don't want anything to be on your skin. Okay, and so since I'm skipping my ring finger, that's going to be my little accent nail. Let's do the rest of our fingers in ink blot. So again, I'm going real slow. This is in real time. We're brushing that liquid as evenly as possible, making sure nothing's bulky, runny. You know, it's just barely there. All right, and again, at an angle, just kind of slide right into that jar. Okay, tap your finger to tap it off. All right, and clear the cuticle. Just go right around there. And then if you can't see, but I have a paper towel next to me and I'm just wiping off my cuticle tool between each finger. All right, look, it's soaking up all that dip powder. Awesome. All right, so let's keep on, and then I'll be right back when we get to our accent nail, because I have a couple more things to kind of throw out there to you when it comes to foils and glitters and things like that that are not solid dip powders. Alright, so now that we're done, let's go ahead and take our Widowmaker. Okay, so a tip or a little bit of advice if you're doing anything that's got chunkies in there, whether it's glitter, chunky glitter, fine glitter, foils, flakes, different things like that, that is not a solid powder. Again, we want to keep our liquids thin, and you will see when you can still go at an angle and dip your finger in there, okay? Or you can pour your dip powders into a cupcake liner, just like those little cheap paper cups, and you can lay your finger into it. This helps you pick up a lot more like glitters and things that are in there. Or you can pour over your finger. So you can put your finger over the paper cup, the cupcake liner, and just kind of dump your glitter on your nail. But either way, so after you get it on your nail, you want to pat gently all those foils, glitters, whatever's in your dip powder, and just give it a gentle pat, because we want to make sure everything is laying flat, okay? Because if we didn't pat it down and say it's a glitter, and then we go back and you encapsulate it in clear, which encapsulate means you're covering it in clear, giving it kind of like a barrier of protection. We have to go back and file, right? To make sure everything's nice and smooth and the way that we want it. If there's anything poking up, sticking out, you're going to file into that and it's not going to look great. If you have a glitter showing, so glitter, if you did not know, the middle of your glitters are not really the color that's on the outside sometimes. So you can burn your glitters. And what I mean by that is when you file off the top color of that glitter, ultimately I believe they're like all silver or something like that. So if you burn that color away, I mean, that could, potentially mess up a beautiful mani, and you just don't want that. So just make sure you're patting all those nails down that have little chunkies on them, and the flatter the better. Okay, and then once you think everything is kind of dry, you want to go in there and we're going to dust off before we do another dip layer, okay? Make sure you're getting all that extra powder off, because for one, all that colorant and the glitters and the flakies could go right back into your dip liquid bottle. We don't want that. That's called contaminating our liquids. And you just, you want to make sure that you're just dusting everything off. That way you just have a more clear, better, crisp mani. Does that make sense? I hope it does. All right, so we're going to do all this all over again for a second time. And we're going to still be thinking thin on our liquids and patting down our foils and our flakies. And I'll be right back. Okay, also I have to add, we're back to that accent finger. We're on those flakes, the foils. Believe these are more flakies. But either way, you have something that's going to pick up color and it's going to bleed onto your dip brush. Yes. Oh, you see that? Wipe that off on a paper towel before you stick that back in your bottle if you can remember. Okay, just get most of it off. It's not all going to come off. But once that bottle's kind of set, or the brush is kind of sat inside your bottle, it'll be off by the time you do your next mani. But just get most of it off if you can, okay? Because again, you don't want to contaminate that clear liquid. Because say you got done with this mani, the next time you go do a mani, you want to do like a pure white, mani. Then you pull that bottle, that brush out of your bottle, and you got that dark color on there, and it's going to ruin your mani, okay? So just make sure if you can, wipe off that dip base brush if you can remember. Sorry, I can't think today. All right, scrape those cuticles, scrapey, scrapey. Okay, so we're all done. So I like to put away my dip powders before I get to dusting off and brushing off and filing, just so I don't get all that stuff all in my other dip powders. Okay, make sure you're dusting off really, really good. And then we're going to get out our 0, which is our clear. Alright, and we're going to cover that flaky dip in 0. Now, okay, so this can be just whatever you like to do. You can cover all these fingers in clear if you so choose to. You can just do your accent nails or, just your chunkies and your glitters and things like that. Because again, that clear dip powder fills in those like little nooks and crannies and helps not hit that color when you go to file. Sometimes I don't clear cap my solids. Here I'm going to, just for video sake. But most of the time, I'm going to admit I really just don't. There's nothing that I'm really going to file away. Unless I just get to filing too thin. And then you'll be able to see a bare nail. But most of the time I don't. But for today I will. And I'll show you how to do all that. And yeah, so we're going to do a third layer of dip. Just all in clear. Okay, and we're going to make sure we get everything fully covered, let all that soak in, and then we are going to dust off again. For clear especially, make sure you're getting in there and getting all that clear off, because if you leave the clear powder that's not stuck to the nail on there, it can make your top coat kind of cloudy. It might be a little bit grainy. You just don't want to see all that. Again, this is all these steps are more for your end result, for a more pretty mani, right? All right, so I'll finish up and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have done our step 2, which is our dipping. Now we're on to step 3, which we're going to brush off all of our excess dip powder, our clear, before we activate our nails. Okay, I'm going to dust it off with this fluffy brush. And I know I said I was going to use just what was in this kit, but if you do have any of these more coarse bristled little nail brushes, they're great to just get in there and get all that powder off your nails. So make sure you get all that clear off, and then we are going to use our number 2 step liquid, which is our activator. And this just kind of like sets everything in stone, makes everything bond together, all of that base liquid bonding to the dip powder, and it just kind of hardens everything up. Just kind of like you went to the salon and went and got your nails done. Because if you didn't know, dip powder is pretty much finely milled acrylic nail powder. So if you didn't know that, there's that. All right, so let's activate these puppies. All right, here's what we're looking like. What do y'all think? I love these colors together, so pretty. Okay, so now it's time to get to filing. All right, so now since we have layers on our nails, we can take that little coarse nail file and you're going to do your free edge. We're going to make sure our free edges are nice and sharp to how we like them. I'm a square kind of gal, square kind of coffin. If you like rounded, I mean, that's awesome. Do your shaping the way that you like it. Okay, so I'm going to use this coarse side. I'm going to shape these guys up. I like to do a little straightening on the free edge. Straighten up that dip powder on the sides, because sometimes things can get a little lumpy bumpy. Even the best nail person can't get it not so lumpy and bumpy and perfect, you know. It just kind of happens. So, alright, I'm going to get to filing. I'm going to leave this in real time, you guys. I'm sorry this is a long one today, but I really wanted y'all to see my process. Okay? Alright, and I'll be right back. Okay, phew, we're done with that task. I know it. Filing, I swear, is like the longest part of the process rather than doing all the dipping. Okay, so we've gotten everything shaped up the way that we like it. Now it's time to take that buffing block and we're going to smooth out all of those rough filings on the top of our nails. This is just going to make that dip powder pop, make your surface more smooth, and have that glassy finish. Okay, so let's give them all a buff and then we'll be right back. We're going to dust these babies off because, again, get all that nail dust off, all that debris, and then I'll see you back. Alright, so we're done filing. We've dusted everything off. And if you can tell, you see where I kind of got a little bit of that on my skin? You can try and peel that off or take your glass cuticle tool. And I like to take the little more sharp end. And I just kind of like to run it along and clean that up. You know, it's okay. Alright, and then once I'm happy with that, we are going to activate a second time. Okay, so per Dipomania's instructions, we are going to go back in with a second activation. Yes, this is important because this is going to help, like if we have filed down anything that was not activated, this is going to help us, you know, make sure everything is nice and set up. And it also helps activate your top coat and harden your top coat. So this is an important step, okay? All right, so let's activate and I'll see you back for top coat. Alright, so here's how we're looking. Not too shabby. Looking good. Alright, so now it's time to top coat. Alright, so we are actually going to do 2 layers of top coat as well. So, rules for top coat, we are going to do as less swipes as we can. That's always hard for me to say. So you want to do these little nail passes. Again, we're doing thin liquids, okay? And we're going to do up to 3 swipes if we can. We just want that nail brush, like the top coat brush, to not touch the nail as much as we can if we can help it. This just kind of helps, like if you have liquids that are easily to harden up your nail brush, you know, too much activator can make your brushes harden up. You know, it's activating that glue, right? and it just kind of helps not contaminate your liquids. This is another contamination thing. Okay, so if you can, try to do it in 2 passes or 3 passes. Of course, my thumb, I got a big old thumb, and it takes me like 3 or 4 passes sometimes. That's okay. We just want to make sure we're not keeping that brush on that nail just too long. But okay, so we're doing our passes real quick. We're going to do all the nails from pinky to thumb, and then you'll be able to tell. Okay, so this first top coat is just kind of sealing everything in. It's not going to be the glossy one, so it's going to kind of get kind of wrinkly. The texture is going to change, and you'll be able to tell. So that's why we go back in with a second top coat, because our second top coat is going to lay on top of this one, and it's going to make everything really nice, shiny, and glossy. Does that make sense? I hope it does. All right, so we got our first layer down. This is our quick layer, right? We're not really being worried about being too perfect, and you can tell that texture has already started to change. Okay, it's kind of wrinkly. You can tell you can see little divots. It's just not as smooth as we would like, okay? So now it's time to go in for a second top coat. So this second top coat is where we can take a little bit more time, right? We've already sealed in over that activator. We can take our time on this one, and most of all, you want to cap your free edge. Cap the edge of that nail just like that, okay? Because this is going to help from chipping, peeling, some cracking, and things like that, okay? All right, so I'll see you right back. All right, we got everything set. The Dipomania liquids probably don't even take maybe a minute to dry, and you're good to go. Look how shiny that is. You can see my light reflection in there. So gorgeous. You just want to sit still for a second, make sure everything's fully dry. And this is how we are looking. Not too shabby. Look how just buttery smooth that ink blot is, that darker color. I just love Dipomania's powders. If you try this kit, y'all gotta let me know what you think. If you try Dipomania's liquids, another great liquid brand, y'all just let me know. But yeah, so I think we have successfully accomplished a mani using only what was in the bag. Besides my little nail brush, I could have not used that technically, but technically you can do a mani with just what was in Dipomania's starter kit, and I just absolutely love that. Okay, and last step is to hydrate those nails back up. Okay, so we've filed, we've buffed, we've roughed everything up. Our skin's not looking too great. Just take some cuticle oil if you have it. Of course, in this kit, it came with it, so that is awesome. You can do this with some lotion, just anything you got around. Just, we just want to hydrate them puppies back up, okay? Because they just took a beating. All right, and always make sure you're going on all around the edges, sidewalls, cuticle area, and even underneath your nails. Yes, this is going to encourage nail growth. All around, just oil them babies up. All right, fam. So this is the end result. What do you think? Let me know down below. Would you be willing to try Dipomania Starter Kit? I think it's a great deal again for $55. You get all the things to do a complete mani. All right, if there are any other starter kits that you would like me to try out for you so you don't have to, let me know down below. I really, really want to know. I'm on a mission, you guys. All right, y'all don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.